Hey y'all! Well, we're doing a little review today about the new isoACOUSTICS GAIA NEO 3s. And they make a 3, a 2, and a 1. And they're all rated for the weight they use. My speakers are the Quad S5s that came with spikes. And when I first took these speakers up, they were very flat. And not in a good way. They weren't very dynamic. The bass was really weak. They weren't very articulate, and I knew that there was more there because I knew how good the little S2s are. But my S2s are sitting on isoacoustic pucks, and they also sound not nearly as dynamic as they do when they're not on the ISO pucks. And I was down at the Tampa show, and in the isoACOUSTICS room, they had a demo with like 2 identical pairs of speakers. One was on pucks, one wasn't. And when they switch them back and forth, you could instantly hear how much more dynamic and articulate they were when they were on the pucks. And so, yeah, I played around with moving the speakers around in the room some, and I also, when I first hooked them up, I was in a hurry, and I just had some like Amazon 18 gauge speaker cable or 16 gauge speaker cable, and put some banana plugs on the ends of them, and made up some speaker cables and hooked them up. And that was part of the problem. And I bought some World's Best cables, which, you know, I talk about a lot on the channel is how much I like them. They have 7 gauge and they have 9 gauge by-wire setups for my speakers. And I think going from 3-foot to 6-foot speaker cables has made the speaker cables more audible, because when I changed out the speaker cables from just a pair of basically zip cord wires to these by-wire setup with the nice gold-plated in, terminals and all that stuff of these World's Best cables, that instantly brought the speakers around. And I mean, they sounded way better. But I knew there was more there. So I bought a set of these pucks, and these GAIA pucks are a lot more expensive than the little ones for bookshelf speakers. I think a whole set of 8 for the bookshelf speakers is about $120. But when you get these larger ones that are designed for floor standard speakers, a set of them I think was like $600. And I know some of y'all are thinking, yeah, you bought a pair of used speakers for $1,000 and then you spend $600 on footers for them. And it's like, yeah, I knew it needed them, and it was worth the money. It really, really brought out the bass in the speakers. It made them so much more articulate and brought out just this really airiness and openness. And the main thing was that now you don't hear the speakers, you hear just like the soundstage. And so, was it worth it? Absolutely. So these are a new product. I like the way they're individually adjustable, so it's real easy if you've got an old house like mine with an uneven floor. It's real easy to get them, to sit nice and level. You can tilt them up and down or sideways or whatever you need to get them level, or if you want to, give them a little bit of front or back tilt, you can do that with these as well. And like I said, it definitely is an improvement of the sound. So let's do the unboxing of these, and then we'll wrap it up at the end. So this is their newest version of their isolation pucks, and I saw these down at the show in Florida, and I knew I wanted a set for my new quad speakers that I'm putting in my remodeled listening room. And I've used these in the past. I think I've done couple of videos talking about how much they improved. First, when I had my little RP600Ms, even those little inexpensive speakers, the smaller, I think they're $120 for a set now, of the little pucks work great under small bookshelf speakers. These floor standers weigh about 55 pounds, which is 15 pounds under what they recommend for these new GAIA 3 Neos. And from seeing in a video, they were talking about one of the advantages to the new Neos is they do work well at the upper end of the limit range, where the original ones, they would normally kind of recommend going to the next larger size if you were getting close to the top end of the range. And obviously I'm excited to get these installed and do an A/B test listing between the speaker with the spikes and these new isolators. I heard a demo down in Florida that was very impressive, and like I said, I've A/B'd them myself and know that these things are the real deal. These are not snake oil. So let's open these guys up and see what's inside the box. And of course we got our little instruction manual, and here they are. And this is what they look like. And I went with the black ones. Thought they would like stand out less and be more suited to the theme of the room that was kind of understated, classy, if that makes sense. So one of the cool things about these new ones, they've got this rubber O-ring that's made into the top of it that is, it's pretty supple, but it's not real soft, but it's got a super fine thread inside here so that it's easy to get them mounted where this lettering faces forward on the speaker. And that's important because they have a different dampening action from side to side, and you can feel it's a lot stiffer front to back than it is side to side. So you definitely want to make sure that that's facing forward. The other neat thing that these newest ones do is they have this ring here that you turn and it adjusts the height. So it makes it easy to level your speaker or deal with uneven floors and that kind of thing without having to deal with this orientation changing, which with the earlier ones was kind of an issue. So yeah, you get these 4 pucks. Let's see what else is in the box. And they got this rubber suction cup kind of thing on the bottom of them if you want it where your speakers won't move around. But then they also come with some little pads here that you can put under the pucks, and then it has some little felt things that you can stick on there so that it makes it easier to slide the speaker around and try different orientations. And then I guess if you get to where you're like, okay, this is where I know I want my speakers to permanently stay, you can just do that and let this rubber cup hold them firmly in place so they don't get moved around. But I'm going to be, obviously, since I'm just setting up the room, having these little things, and sadly I feel like an idiot. I've got a finished hardwood floor in my house, and I didn't think about what the spikes were going to do to the floor, and it's not horrible, but it definitely put some little marks in the floor. I was careful not to slide them around, but there's like little pick marks in my floor now, which I guess I can get some, maybe some clear finish, some shellac or something with a toothpick and fill in the little holes so that they're not as visible. And it comes with an Allen wrench, and then it also comes with, let's get that out of the way, all the different adapters for the different sizes. And if your speakers use some weird size, then you can talk to the dealer or probably contact ISO directly and get them to ship you the adapters that'll fit your speakers. Mine uses these 8mm by 1.25 thread pitch, and so you'll just screw this little adapter into the bottom of your speaker or your little outriggers or whatever you're going to have to use, and then the puck just simply screws onto here, and you just tighten it down until this is facing forward. And again, you can then use these little ring here to adjust the height and get the speaker where it doesn't rock and it sits nice and level. And yeah. Oh, the last thing, it does come with some little damper things here in case this ring doesn't line up with whatever you're screwing this into. You can use that little guy instead. And I'm not sure. Yeah, you could actually, if you wanted to, you could take that out and just have that screwed on there if this isn't touching for whatever reason. And I know they make adapters for other kind of speakers and stuff too. You can look on their website. But yeah, I'm ready to go put these things in and go listen to what they sound like. I'm excited. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this other than I really like their products, and I think this is, yeah, some of you may say that's not a good value, but it's hard to put a price tag on that. And I mean, I know there's people that spend, $20,000 on a pair of speaker cables, which I'm probably never going to do. I'm never going to say never again, because there were things like, I thought speaker cables were a bunch of snake oil, and something like these speaker pucks 5 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. But actually, it probably was about 5 years ago when I first discovered it, because I put those under my RP600Ms, and it was like transformative. And I knew it would do the same thing for these S5s, and it did. So I did some further mods to the speakers, which we'll go over in the next segment, to pull some more bass out of them and to undo what the previous owner had done on some DIY mods that I was pretty sure were part of the problem. But I'll save that for the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this review of these new GAIA NEOs. Really neat product. If these won't work, you want to save a few bucks, they have the previous generation that they still sell. If you got smaller speakers, or you've got maybe not your main system, but like a bedroom system, and you want to play around with these pucks and see if you hear the difference, which I know you will, you can buy the little bookshelf ones. I think they hold 6 pounds each, so they'd hold up to like a 24-pound speaker, and you can get a set of those for 120 bucks or something like that. I think they make some bigger pucks too, but for floor standers with these outriggers and stuff like these S5s have, you really need, a different kind of nice footer. Oh, and here's a picture of what they look like installed on my speakers. And the little top caps were originally silver, and I scuffed them off and painted them black satin and used the black footers. And with these black outriggers, I think it really looks nice. And I still have the little cups that go under the pucks for now, so they're easy to kind of move around while I'm still trying to dial in the positioning. But once I get that finalized, I'll just put them on the floor without those little sliders. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, please like the video, comment below if you've used them and what you think. I've talked to quite a few people that have used them on their speakers and are big fans of them like I am, and they definitely do improve the sound of your speakers, doesn't matter what they are. So consider buying a pair. There's an affiliate link below. If you don't want to support me, you can just go to Amazon and search and find them too. I get a little percentage of that, but doesn't add anything to the price. If you want to help me out or support the channel and you want to buy some, check out the links below. Other than that, we will see you for the next video, and until then, have a nice day.